I didn't have to do 90 miles on
Well,
the freeway.
hey, shut up, Rico. We're live. Damn it, don't you know how to open a show? I know you don't know how to open a show because you've never been here for the start of one before.
I can't even open a can of tuna.
No. Well, I can open a can of whoop ass. I stole that from somebody. I can't remember who. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so thrilled to have on video in 1080p for the very first time my good friend, my dear friend. He actually barely knows me, but Jonny Fairplay, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny's with us today. Just told me off camera he's been an extremely busy man. Well, I'm not. That's why I'm doing a couple, 3 of these a week. So
I'm doing a couple, 3 of these a week as well, and I'm beyond busy. I wake up around 6 a.m. every day, and I go to bed around 1, and I'm averaging 2-3 podcasts a day.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I wake up at about, I go to bed at 4 or 5 a.m. on a good day. And I normally wake up at 11, and I knew that was going to happen. They haven't barked all day. Because
you didn't hit the live button. Yeah,
if I hadn't done that. Once you hit the live button, the dogs know it's time to go. If you guys can help me keep an eye on questions, Johnny, if you see anything in there you want to, and you can see the questions, I assume, correct?
Yeah.
By the way, they did add to the basic program today that you can now go live on 3 formats. So we're live on Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube for the first time ever. They gave us a bonus one to go. If they just give us a 4th, we could go live on Twitch, but I haven't set up Twitch. I've set it up, but I don't even have a follower. I don't know how to do a program or anything. Are you on Twitch, Johnny?
I own I have my.
You own Twitch. I knew it. I knew you owned Twitch.
Yes. So no, I have my Twitch name. I was pretty sure that Twitch was just for scantily clad girls playing video games.
Yeah, they seem to get a lot of viewers. I did notice that if you don't know anything about video games, what the hell are you doing on Twitch? But my other dear friend,
you don't need to know anything about video games. You just have to have a video game console and minimal clothing. I think you're.
Well, I have.
And, as we call it Twitch, is because some people get on and people go.
That very well could be. Now my good friend Russo tells me that that's the place to be. I won't tell you what he claims he's making a month, but it's more than I'm making.
Yeah, I believe it.
So I need to look into it.
A lot of people use it, so I might explore it down the road. I have my Survivor podcast that I do at survivornsfw.com, and then we have the ad-free version of that, along with the additional Patreon content at ad-free.nsfw.com. But I feel like it's pretty easy to find me those 2 locales, and I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Well, whatever keeps you busy and keeps the dollars coming in, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I got all kinds of interesting stuff I want to ask you today, Johnny. And Rico is a research man. I am not. If I hadn't seen you on Survivor and TNA, I would have nothing for you. So sure. I just don't do any research whatsoever. But all kinds of juicy things I want to ask you. And I'm going to give one teaser for the Patreon show already, just right off the top. Have you had sex with any of the Survivor castmates or the castaways? Any of the TNA? I don't want any names yet.
No answers. This is for the after show.
This is for the after show. I didn't think he would admit it.
Yeah.
Hey, what is that called? Early what?
you tell me.
I didn't give any names.
No, he hasn't given any names, and I don't know that he will. But we're going to go to the.
I will. I don't care. It's fine.
Oh, good. Hey, if you don't care, I don't care. It's cool.
Yeah,
I like this guy already.
I would.
The hip.
Bam. I would tell everybody I had sex with at OVW, but it's only a 40-minute show today, 45 minutes, give or take. So we won't even get it.
Well, you were just a
all right. I'll give you one name.
Guy trying to get on the roster.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you one. I give you one name. I fucked Rico out of a lot of money. That counts.
Do you confirm or deny this, Rico?
Well, that orifice still hurts today.
There you go.
Well, as long as the orifice is still hurting, I did my job properly. Johnny, what is on the horizons for you? What all you into now, other than doing 3? Russo says he does 111 podcasts a week. Is
111?
Well, I'm sure a lot of them are just short ones on Twitch would be my guess, but unless he meant per month, but I'm always trying to get him on the show. Oh, Kenny, I'm so busy. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I was like, God, I need 40 minutes, man. Shut up. Come on, do a show. And but he did do my 13. Johnny, have you ever done a 13-hour podcast? Because you did mine.
Yeah. Well, then apparently I have.
Well, you appeared on a 13-hour. Have you set your ass down in a chair and dealt with these people for 13 hours? Have you ever done?
No, I'm not. I'm not a fan of any podcast that goes longer than an hour. To be honest.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I'm
you're definitely not a fan of the bowling alley because they all go over an hour.
Yeah.
We always shoot for 60, but
We shoot.
we end up going. We end up going 120 sometimes.
Yeah.
We did a 3-hour one time.
3 hours and 12 minutes when we swore to God we were going 60.
Yeah. I did a podcast for ProWrestling.net. Me and X-Pac did a weekly podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, I have 2 daughters, and you know, so you know, I'm just
how old are your daughters?
3 and 12.
3. You gapped them out a little bit.
Yeah, and I told X-Pac, I was just like, hey, like, you know, if you know, here's my window that, you know, to not call or text, you know, but otherwise, you know, let's make it work.
Yeah,
right.
I every time without fail, we hit that window that I said, don't, you know, like 2 a.m., you know, sound asleep, you know, ready to get up at 6, you know, possibly earlier with, you know, with 2 daughters.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's like, hey, now would be great. And I'm like, okay. so I'm just like, okay, let's just knock it out 60 minutes, you know, like, no problem. And he would start the pod. He goes, Johnny, like, I know, you know, that we've had these discussions in the past, but let's not go any longer than 60 minutes. And, you know, fast forward to 2.5 hours later, I'm just like, kid, I got to go. I gotta go. So I understand how it happens. So I mean, especially when you have fun topics, there's lots to talk about. You know, when you do the deep dives, I understand all that. But like, I'm a runner, and you know, I run 3 to 10 miles a day.
Yeah, me too.
I know. You usually pass me.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm busy.
I understand.
That's shit to do.
So, well, you have
Get
to
out of the way, Johnny. I got a podcast to do.
Yeah, you have the 3-hour podcast.
Exactly.
So, but with me, with just, you know, the increments of time that I have available to me, that I feel that 60 minutes is that sweet spot.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate it even more knowing how busy you are to set aside a little time for me today. You didn't even hesitate. You just said, hit me up 30 minutes before the show on Tuesday. And I greatly appreciate that because I know you're busy as hell. And apparently my good friend Russo is as well. But you need to step it up. You got to get those 111 podcasts in a week if you want to compete with Russo.
I'm good. He wins.
You're good? He wins?
I will tap out. I will take a lower type. The IC belt is just fine for me. I'll even take the 24/7 championship.
There you go. Were you ever in consideration? Because I know you were in talks with WWE at one time. You would have been probably the most likely choice to be the 24/7 champion, I would think.
Well, if I had gone there and they had it at the time, I definitely see myself and Drake Maverick exchanging it about 18 times.
I don't have the virus. I'm just letting everybody know.
Yeah.
I've only coughed like 5 times since February. I'm scared to death to cough because people just might shoot you on sight. And it just
I was at the grocery store yesterday. I wear a mask. You know, I have Survivor NSFW mask. So, but I was at the grocery store yesterday, and I got something caught in my throat, and I had to cough. I was so scared to
terrified. Cough. Me too. I'm terrified to cough. And I go out in the front yard, and if I cough, and there's walkers that go by, not from The Walking Dead, but walkers that go up and down Cherokee Road, and I'm scared to cough on my own front porch.
Yeah.
Someone's just going to pull out a gun or a taser or something, just put me down and just put me out of my misery just over a simple cough. But yeah, when I shop at Kroger, I'm terrified to cough.
Yeah.
Or my son sneezed the other day. I said, get him. Get him. He's probably infected. So it's a whole different world. And I never dreamed that we would see and be a part of the things we're going through right now. Go ahead.
So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, now you're probably going to leave the podcast when I suggest this to you. I had an idea. I'm not going to say it was a good one. I'm not going to say it was a good one, Johnny, but I had an idea. When this shit first started,
go ahead.
Before we realized how serious this shit was, I had an idea. Back in January or February, I wanted a Survivor I wanted, this is going to sound, I'm going to lose 1,000 viewers right here. I wanted a Survivor episode where all 16 members had coronavirus. You put them on the island and you go until there's one man standing, however long it takes, not necessarily 39 days, just for the gruesome people that really want to see some shit. 39, however many days, 16 people, one island, everybody infected, everybody with pre-existing conditions, everybody's got some shit going on. And let's see how this thing plays out.
That was comparable to my idea back in the day of Survivor.
I didn't know you were as sick as I am. Go ahead. I'm anxious to hear it.
Survivor Las Vegas. Everyone starts with a kilo of blow.
Yeah.
God.
and so you got your kilo.
The rest would work itself out. There would be one survivor potentially.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't know whose idea is sicker. I think maybe mine, but then again, I had this idea.
You're comparable. They're very comparable.
Back in January or February when we first started hearing about this, and I'm shocked it didn't happen. I'm still looking on my CBS All Access to see this show that has not aired yet, but I bet the ratings would be high. That's my guess. I would say, Johnny, you would not want to be a part of that particular show, correct?
No. I'm waiting. No. I'm holding out for Legends. I'm good to go.
Legends now is Legends,
and I don't want the winner of Survivor COVID to participate in Legends either.
I think if anybody's got the right to be there, it's the winner of Survivor COVID.
Well, he's the first boot, I assure you.
The first isolation.
He'll be
going to send him to the ocean for sure.
He'll be voted off on the boat ride up, either that or just pushed into a pool of sharks or something. It's going to be a 15-man episode for sure.
I don't like his chances of making the layover to get there.
Jeez.
Well, all right.
What was that movie where all the kids got stranded on an island and they went cannibal? And
what
was that movie? Huh?
Our BS logo is based on that Battle Royale.
Okay.
Well, that's the Japanese version. They made it
Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies. Thank you, Johnny.
Lord of the Flies is kind of an American version, but Battle Royale was where we got the BS logo from. They had the BR. Christopher turned it into a BS and made a few alterations to it. Well, I would throw it up, but fuck, people have seen it, and maybe not Johnny, but people have seen it. And that's where we got that. But it was basically a bunch of kids on an island. One person leaves, everyone else dies. And you have to pick who it is you're going to kill. But yeah, check out Battle Royale if you get a chance.
Royal Rumble.
That is one of my son's favorite movies of all time is Battle Royale. But it's primarily a Japanese movie. Not many Americans know a whole lot about it. It's a sick movie.
These people are coming up. That Brian Alford came up with the COVID Royal Rumble. Chris Schmidt.
Well, okay. So what?
COVID Running Man.
32 members with COVID, and okay, all right. That's worse than Survivor, I think. And
you gotta say hi to Jake. I'm gonna say hi to Allie. We got a lot of people in.
Yeah.
Kingpin. Is that you, King?
That's not me. I'm sitting right here.
All right, Dustin, Carl. So ask questions, guys. Come on.
Yeah, feel free to ask questions because you can't ask any questions on the Patreon show. No, and Johnny's only here for a short period of time. Me and Rico, Johnny would not commit to the 3 hour and 12-minute show today.
I did not today.
You did not.
Yeah.
Keep the question. I'll put it up to you because I got a half-ass look into the camera, so you all kind of see the questions that go by there.
Can you see the questions, Johnny?
I can. Yeah, they're right here.
Okay. All right. Everybody basically is saying hello, kind of LOL-ing,
fuck
and doing that. But
if you're not a Patreon,
I'll start asking questions. Screw it. Sure. Johnny, how'd you get on Survivor? Because I had
that same question. I'm glad you asked that.
Okay, because I was thinking on going on Survivor when it first came out, but for different reasons. But I want to hear it from you first.
I was living in Los Angeles. And a friend of mine asked me, I was sitting it was a Sunday afternoon, and I was sitting poolside. And a friend of mine, I lived in West Hollywood, and I had a friend down in Venice Beach. He was like, hey, do you want to go to this Von Dutch party this afternoon? And I was I know
what that is. Been there many times.
I was like, I'd love to, but I'm probably 8 Coors Lights in. I'm cool right here. He's like, well, I'll call you back. So he called me back about 15 minutes later. He's like, hey, the chick I'm talking to, she lives down the street from you. She'll pick you up, blah, blah, blah. So she picks me up. We're on our way to Venice Beach to pick him up, then to go to Manhattan Beach. And we stop in Santa Monica at a gas station so she could fill up her car with gas. So she's pumping gas like a woman should. I go to the corner to have a cigarette. I kid.
Kids.
So I'm having a smoke. This white Volvo locks up the brakes. She pulls into the parking lot. She goes, "You mind if I ask you a crazy question?" I'm like, "You're hot. Why not?" She goes, "You ever watch Survivor?" I go, "No, they're a bunch of fucking losers." She goes, "I'm the casting director." I go, "That sucks for you."
Oh, yeah.
She goes, "I'm offering you a 1 in 16 chance at $1 million." I'm like, "Whatever." She goes, "I think you'd be perfect." I go, "Tell me something I don't know, honey." She goes, "That's it.
You're on.
You're on."
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. But
now, was you intentionally doing that to get on the show? But you
no, I didn't. I didn't care.
Or you really didn't care?
I didn't care.
Yeah. Well, I know I wouldn't last a fucking day, so there would have been no.
People in Los Angeles, people come up to you all the time and say, "Hey, would you like to do it?" And it's always bullshit. So, even if it was real, the skepticism and guard that you have at all times there, it's just like, this is probably bullshit.
Well, what made you? What you seem so lack of wanting to do it? What made you decide to pull the trigger?
Well, she gave me her card, and it was a real card. And then,
unlike the fake cards, I got the fake cards right here. There's anyone ever gives you one of those, that's a fake card. You do not want to do anything with that.
Yeah. So she gave me her card. It was real. I gave her my number. She called back the next day, and she was like, "Look, I'm very serious. We're doing the finals of casting in 2 weeks. There's a lot. They spend. I think they said they spend. I want to say $40,000 a contestant once they get to finals on the background investigations and all the testing and stuff.
Make sure you don't murder anybody.
Well, that's good.
Well, I mean,
that would make it a more interesting show if people started turning up missing that weren't voted off.
Well, they don't want shit to show up, from your past.
Because understandable. So, so there's Adam Frank is asking, is there craft services on Survivor? Do you have
yeah. Well, we film all the seasons in Burbank. We spend about 3.5 hours and make it. They put on the bug bites and stuff. So So I mean, we usually wrap by 8:30, and then we go out to bars.
It's all done on a sound stage. You've never even seen an island.
What year? What year was that? Your first?
My first season was 2003. My second season.
Forgive my ignorance, but all right. Fine. So okay, and I know because I was there earlier than you. There's a lot of producers in Hollywood, but all they produce is cards. They're fake.
I would be a great Hollywood producer. I can pass out cards. I can do that.
Most cards you get are, they just, it's just like, so-and-so agency. I mean, like this card said, CBS. And I'm like, okay, CBS is legit.
Yeah, there you go.
So that was the difference. And
if you could have seen the piece of shit business cards that Danny Davis gave me when I was at Ohio Valley to recruit hot women for the show. When Jimmy got there, he wanted hot women on the show. I think we even paired 1 or 2 of them up with you and the Damager. We were trying to lure you into Bolin services, and this piece of shit card didn't. I don't know how we got anybody to be on the show.
Was it the OVW with the 2 arms?
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. It was done on paper though. Danny printed them at home. He wouldn't go through Vista.
And then he put them out.
Yeah. You had to cut them out. I am not bullshitting you. You had to. They had the little lines, and you had to either tear them off or Danny would cut them out, and they were the most ridiculous looking goddamn business cards. And that would have worked over great in Hollywood. Yeah. Now, is there any guaranteed money? I mean, if you're going to be on the show and say you finished Final 4, is there any guaranteed money?
Yeah, first one out gets 12,500, and then it goes up incrementally from there. So, like on my first season, I finished 3rd. I got 95,000.
Oh, that ain't a bad month's work. Yeah, it ain't a bad month's work. And
as I was going to finish with him, how he went when I found out what the show was about, because I was going to try out for it because I did the gladiators and stuff like that. Yeah. When I found out it's more of a chess game. Yeah. It's not really about Survivor, but not really about like Naked and Afraid. Naked and Afraid
more mental than physical.
Right. And I'm going to be the first to admit I ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer. But if talk
That's
about
that's where I
survival
would win.
and real survival, about going out, I would do naked and afraid, if I don't want to be naked. I mean, I'll go out there and outlast
I
people.
would do.
They have little dots
I'm
too. Not all the dots are big.
Right. So
I would request a large dot, like not not needed, but just
I would request a large dot too, but it'd be over exaggerating.
Yeah.
Well, if either of you have ever seen the movie The Jerk, when Steve Martin goes out naked to get the mail or whatever he's doing, he realizes he's naked, or somehow he turned up naked. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. So he picks up a little dog and a big dog. He puts the big dog in front of it. Yeah, the big dog goes in front of him, and the little dog goes behind him.
Yes.
To cover up the essentials. So Steve knew what he was doing.
Because he's a virgin. That's why. Now,
He knew what he
if
was
it had been another way in Hollywood, he'd have switched places.
Oh yeah.
doing. Well, that's a possibility.
They did the same thing with Gladiators as they did with Survivor. You were in a round robin tournament, 20 men, 20 women, and the further you got up the chain through the quarter, preliminary, quarterfinal, semifinal, final is the more money you got. So it was only a 2-week event. When I became champion, I got 10.
Okay.
So
Really?
not bad for about 10 days worth of work at Universal.
Was Nitro still there when you were?
Oh yeah. I was season 2. I don't know why. I should have been season 1, but they counted the pilot as a season.
Oh,
so
really?
that was prior to Samuel Goldwyn and 4 Point picking up the show. So they did a pilot. And they count that as season 1, which I understand, because I got a gentleman named Lucian Anderson was the champion of the first season, and then after Eitan Keller, a producer who produced America's Funniest Home Videos and stuff like that, got a hold of the show. He did a whole revamp, which made it survive all those years, because in the pilot they were always concentrating on the gladiators, and nobody really cared about it. But when they started doing the backstory on the contestants, America got interested in it. So
I did celebrity bull riding with Nitro.
You did? Danny's good. He's a good competitor, but when I only had one run in with him was Powerball. I'd lost the ball, because once you lose the ball, you can't score. Gladiators got to let go of the contender so he can go back and forth. Well, when I lost the ball, he just reverse German suplexed me.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the ball. And I went, okay. So after the match, we went on the side, and I said, hey, Danny, whistle to whistle, play hard as you can. I understand. But don't play by the rules. You and I are going to go different. Yeah. And I mean, he could have beat me. But I was just letting him know where I stood. Yeah. Not that I'm saying I'm better than him or what, but I'm just telling him, if I might not get any steak, son of a bitch, but I'm going to get some hamburger, so don't cheat.
Yeah.
So
when I showed up for celebrity bull riding, like, I look around and everyone is just huge. I mean, like, you have Nitro, you have Vanilla Ice and Cowboy Kenny from Motocross X, and there's all these guys are just these big guys. And then there's me, and I'm just like,
now wait a minute. Vanilla Ice isn't a big guy, is he?
Oh yeah. He's a very big guy.
Is he? No, I didn't know that. I had no clue.
He's tall, correct, Johnny?
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm just like, he's 6 something.
I had no clue he was that big.
I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm screwed. But then the guy that teaches how to ride bulls is Ty Murray, Jules' ex-husband, the greatest bull rider of all time. And he comes around the corner, and he's 5'8", 150 pounds. And I'm like, okay.
I think now, I don't know shit about bull riding, but I think the little guy would have an advantage.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's the greatest bull rider of all time.
There you go.
And I too am 5'8", 150 pounds. I was just like, all right, this is okay. And then we start train to ride bulls, and I'm watching these big boys not do well. And I won the show. I rode 11 bulls, and I got 8 for 8 seconds.
You won the show. Damn.
Yeah. So it was pretty crazy.
It's like a jockey. You get it. You don't want no friggin' 6'8" jockey. You want the smallest center of gravity on a horse. Same thing goes with bull or a horse.
Yeah, this on TNT or something. I miss celebrity bull riding.
What about CMT?
Okay, all right.
CMT first dipped their toe into the reality television waters. That was
somehow I missed out on that one.
It was supposed to be like Ty was sold the idea of the show being like all these athletes, And he was just like, I want the greatest football players. I want all just athletes.
Yeah.
And that was the original concept. And then it kind of morphed into, well, we are making a reality show. So then it's me and Leif Garrett and Vanilla Ice and Ty.
Oh my God,
Leif Garrett was there too. Holy mackerel!
Leif never got on the bowl.
Criminal show
made for dancing, right? Wasn't Leif Garrett that was made for dancing?
Yeah. Leif saw the bull and left. Leif left.
Leif was the smart one of the bunch, huh?
Oh yeah.
All right, that's all right.
So,
what was the potential prize in that?
I got 55,000 for 10 days.
All right. What did he get for showing up, singing the bull, and leaving?
I think he got half his money. I think he got
half his money. Showed up, saw the bull, and that's a story in itself.
You got promised money.
Yeah. You just got an appearance fee. We all got an appearance fee.
Yeah.
So, but it was so when they changed the concept, Ty's furious. He was just like, "This ain't the show I signed. This ain't what I want to do." And they're like, "Well, this is the show that we're doing." And he was just like, "Well, the world can use a few less celebrities." So he just wanted, at that point, he was just like, I just want to see these guys get hurt. And so then, we're out there and we are getting, I'm the only person that wasn't pretty much medically evacuated, like Francisco Quinn from Platoon. And he had three bruised ribs, 3 cracked ribs, and a punctured lung.
Damn.
Most people had severe ligament damage in their wrist. Stephen Baldwin, broken collarbone. I mean, every single person.
Holy mackerel.
And
I used to be an EMT paramedic. So when the PBR came to Vegas, in fact, that's how tough cowboys are. These guys, I mean, this guy got monkey stomped by a bull. The clowns couldn't get there fast enough. So he got thrown off.
They're clowns. What do you want?
I know, but the clowns are supposed to deter, distract
the
bull.
I've
so
seen it.
the guy can come in, either chase him off on the horse or rope him. But they wouldn't. When he got monkey stomped, he wasn't moving.
Yeah.
And I was trying to tell the guys, "Let me in the gate. He needs help." He goes, "Oh no, you don't."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, he needs help." But the clowns went over, and then he got up.
None of them EMTs, I bet.
Well, no, but it's the image that they want to portray. So he dusts himself off, lifts his hat up, and the crowd gives him a standing O.
Yeah.
He gets through the gate, shuts the gate, and he falls out right there. Falls out behind stage. But that's what cowboys are friggin' tough.
They're tough.
I got to give it to them.
They're double tough.
I wouldn't want to get on a horse with his nuts tied up and then say, "Oh, go ride it."
Their nuts aren't. Everyone thinks their nuts are tied. They're not. Like the bulls are just bred to buck you. I mean, the bull knows.
String on the back.
I thought they were bred to fuck you, but okay.
No string.
Enlighten me. There's a string on the back.
Just a rope around the bull.
Okay, all right.
The bulls are bred to do that. They know what 8 seconds is. Like some bulls, when you get them for 8 seconds, they're like, they'll give you a look. They're like, "You got me." And then most bulls, you get the 8 seconds. They're just like, "You might have got that 8 seconds, but you ain't out of this gate yet."
They're coming after you.
Yeah, because they know that you got them. So because if you look at the PBR circuit, there's bulls on there that make more money than the actual riders.
Oh my God.
Because the breeders give them these bulls and they ranked.
Yeah.
The bulls are ranked, correct?
The bulls are ranked just like the riders are. So
right. So my information came from one of the cowboys at the PBR. So that's where I got my information. I'm glad you.
No, a lot of people they might have done that back in the day, but like
not this day.
Yeah, well, I mean, I filmed celebrity bull riding in 2005, and at that point, as I said, those bulls just know what they're doing.
Right. And they're bred, like you said, they're bred that way. I'm glad you cleared that up because animal cruelty, I really don't go for it.
Yeah, no, as I said, they love it. They get treated. I mean, as I said, there's bulls that make more than some cowboys, and those bulls live pretty good lives, I think.
Well, real quickly, I got a couple of things here. I've actually looked over at the comments a time or two. Brian, my producer's brother and editor, has found some video of you on American Gladiator. So he posted a link to that here in the chat room. And Brian is he was on my show a couple of weeks ago. Brian Alford.
found Jimmy
he found
Fairplay?
video of you on American Gladiators. Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
He's the guest, not me.
Maya's never seen the show, so Maya's dying to see the show. And the other thing is, I want to know how much you've heard about this, Johnny. I got a guy in here who I normally shit on all the time, but he's actually got a little Zach Bonifer. He's got a little something here. He doesn't think you're Jonny Fairplay. He thinks you're Kenny Omega after a rough night.
Oh, come on.
I think we've both been booked equally as poorly in wrestling.
you might be onto something there.
I don't know. I don't get. I mean, you know,
Cornette hates both of you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know. I love AEW, and I just like going into AEW. I'm just like, wow, Kenny Omega is going to be the biggest star in wrestling. You know,
that by the way, is my son's god. He thinks Kenny. I've only seen a couple of matches, but my son thinks he hung the moon.
I love it. I love it.
He isn't the biggest star in the world, and well, I guess on the independent circuit he is. I guess.
Well, I mean, he's not in the independence. He's on AEW.
Well, before then. Hey, Johnny, don't be fucking burying me on my own show.
Well, I'm just saying, in New Japan,
you're right.
In New Japan, he had one of the greatest matches I've ever seen.
I've only seen a couple
several actually. So no, he's great. So, but the story that they've been telling in AEW is just like, wow. I'm just like, how are you screwing this up? This is Kenny Omega, like, you know.
Yeah.
And, but
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
how did you come up with something like that, Mr. Fairplay? A promoter fucking somebody over?
No, he's the executive vice president of the promoter. I mean, like, he has say on what his character is doing. Like, I just think Kenny is a little weird, and I think Kenny's booking is from Kenny, and it's just like, whoa. Like,
your all's Kenny Omega is my Shinsuke Nakamura. When I saw him in NXT, I thought he was the greatest talent in pro wrestling. Not all that big. You saw him on a street corner, you would think probably you could whip his ass, but
he's bigger. If you see him in person, he's bigger than you think.
See, I haven't got to see him in person.
Yeah,
and I've noticed against some other people, he's a little taller than you would think. But I'm talking about the people that look like Bob Backlund and all those guys.
Sure.
Yeah, but when you stand next to Kane or somebody like Brock, you're going to look small.
He's not that look, but his psychology was the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that psychology reminds me more like I remember when I first heard about Shinsuke Nakamura, like I hadn't seen him and I just had in my head, like just the Japanese high flying style. And then the first time I saw him, I think the first match I saw with him was him versus AJ from Wrestle Kingdom that year.
AJ Styles?
Yeah, and I'm sitting there watching. I'm just like, this guy's working like Undertaker. I mean, just the simplicity of what
very simple
was just beautiful.
Everything,
and it brings back
he does means everything. I mean, there's a thought behind everything he does, from the look, the smiles, just everything has meaning. Yeah. And his psychology was the best I've ever seen, maybe since Jerry Lawler. If you weren't grown up on Jerry Lawler, you might not appreciate his psychology as much, but my God, and then he gets up there and it's like they ruined him. They ruined Kairi Sane. They ruined Asuka.
I think Shinsuke began his retirement tour once he made it to the main roster, and good for him. He earned it.
Hey, he deserved it. He deserved it. I'm with you.
Hey,
but
Johnny,
they didn't have too many. I don't think
Johnny, there's a question. I'm gonna because Kenny can't see it. I'm gonna go. It says they're talking about both of us. When you win money, be it on Survivor, American Gladiators, it says how much do they take out in taxes? I'm going to rephrase it and go, do they take taxes out of your winnings? And for me, yes.
Well,
we're under the it's the game show tax, which is also referred to as the luxury tax, which is essentially 40%.
I was thinking probably 40%. Now, what was Richard Haas? Was that his name? The first one that was naked on Survivor? Richard Hatch. I'm sorry. Well, Hatch. It's been a long time in my memory.
Hatch didn't pay us that. Like, I'm friends with Hatch, and oh yeah, very good friends. And Hatch, I believe stuff to an extent, and he may be correct. And so here's the explanation. So Hatch went to jail for not paying his taxes.
How long did he go? I knew he went.
He went for a few years. They made an example.
A few years.
Yeah. And so Hatch, I asked Hatch about it. I was just like, hey, what happened? And something happened during the first season in which something happened behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And it's, it's not really talked about. And I'm not really here to talk about that either.
No.
And as a result, Hatch claims that they told him if he were to win Survivor, that they would pay his taxes. Now, I don't think that's true. However, let's just say for argument's sake, friend of mine, and I back my friends, let's just say for argument's sake, they did say that, okay? All right, well, Hatch not only didn't pay taxes on the $1 million that he won on Survivor, he also got a radio DJ gig for like $600,000 a year.
Oh my!
And didn't pay taxes on that. Now,
That's
we have a pattern being laid here. We have a pattern.
I'm just willing to bet, and once again, I may be wrong, but I don't think the conversation on the island took place in that the production said, "Hey, Hatch, if you win the $1 million and you happen to get a radio deal for $600,000, we will pay the taxes on both of those."
Nobody thinks that.
Those aren't smart decisions if someone made
those aren't generous.
Yeah. So I don't think those conversations happen.
No. Redneck Ronald. Listen to it. Redneck Ronald goes, how many gladiators were juiced up on roids? I'm going to defer to you. What do you think? Because you weren't gladiators. No, I'm going to defer to Johnny.
Okay.
I would say the majority, if not all. That's my guess.
My guess would be all.
You're going yes, majority?
The majority, or if not all. I think it was a body business. The parameters of the show was for them to have a decisive advantage.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. See, that's why I wanted to go to somebody else to hear it.
And just look at the timing of it. I mean, like when that show was shot, steroids were more predominant in sports as we know it.
Well, what was it that Mark McGuire was on? Andro something or another? What was he on? And I think when he was taking it, I think it was actually it wasn't banned that I know of, but they still kept him out of the Hall of Fame because of it.
Yeah,
Andrew.
Well, you're talking about McGuire, right?
Yeah,
you're talking about Mark McGuire.
Yeah, but
Sammy Sosa.
It's not just steroids; it's called performance enhancing drugs.
Exactly.
Like doping with Lance.
Well. To me, Rico, honey was a performance-enhancing drug. Back when I used to play a lot of basketball,
well, I would
take a tablespoon of honey and I could outplay everybody. So really, technically, a spoonful of honey was a performance-enhancing drug for me.
I didn't know
honey. I'd have been fucked.
I didn't know the woman.
Yes, there you go.
She was a sweet girl. She's a sweet girl. We're gonna let's see. We're sneaking up on the 35-minute mark, 40-minute mark,
37:54. Johnny, I gotta ask Johnny, how did you prepare for Survivor? Because I mean, we got talking off track, we got rabbit holes. How do you prepare for something like that?
I had never seen Survivor prior to being cast. Like I watched like 2 minutes of the first finale, and I was just like,
how many seasons had there been before you joined? 6. Okay, that's a lot to miss. Yeah.
And so I'd seen a couple of minutes. I'm like, these people are stupid. I would never do this. So
I had seen every second of every episode through the first 6 seasons.
So once I got cast, I bought every episode off eBay and every early show interview that the contestants did afterwards, explaining why they felt they were voted out.
Right.
So I watched all the seasons twice. I became skin diver and scuba diver certified in Catalina.
Wow.
I was running 10 miles a day at Runyon Canyon in Hollywood. I was doing everything I could to gain weight. Like I was eating Pink's hot dogs every day, McDonald's, drinking Guinness, doing the metric shakes, all that stuff.
Yeah, what did you gain from the day you found out to the day you got there? How much did you gain?
Not much. I mean, my metabolism.
It couldn't have been much.
I was 30 years old. My metabolism was so high, and I was running and doing everything else. I had gotten up to 116 pounds when I started Survivor.
Bless your heart.
100 you got up to?
He got up. Yeah. He said up.
160 or 116?
116 when I started Survivor.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He's
and then in the history of the
I
game,
was born at 116 pounds, I think.
In the history of the game,
came out and slapped the fucking doctor.
I did. He's smart about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you? What I want to know, because I turned it down, but what was your methodology or your thought process going into with these other people? Now you've watched 6 seasons twice, which I did with Gladiators. I watched the first season over and over and over, like NFL review tapes. That's why I knew Nitro was good at this, Laser was good at this, Gemini was good at this, but they got rid of Titan and Malibu, so they're going to bring in 2 more Gladiators. So I figured their newness, my newness,
that
are
you
going to
didn't
equal out. Yeah, but my heart and my desire is going to outbeat them.
Sure.
So that's what I thought. So what was your mindset going against these other people? Did you have a strategy coming in? So if you want to share, please share.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to be the heel. I mean, like no one in the history of the show, no one in the history of reality television had been a heel prior to me.
Well, that's when you won me over, is when you went into the heel and talked about your wrestling background.
Anyone prior to me had been like if they were portrayed as a heel, they're just like, that wasn't me. They use things out of context, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, well, it's reality TV. They didn't CGI anything. So, you are what you are. You might not see yourself as a bad guy, but the world does. So with me, like, prior to Survivor, I had been Roddy Piper's personal assistant for over a year.
Yeah, I read that about you.
Yeah, so I just brought the wrestling aspect to Survivor. And so I went in, I'm just like, my first confessional, I'm like, I'm Jonny Fairplay. I don't play fair. I'm going to be the biggest bad guy in the history of reality television. Yeah. So I did that day, and production sitting there jerking off. They're just like, did you hear this kid? And so every day, like, my goal was secretly to make people's lives miserable. And then I narrated my story and the story of the season via the confessionals. But in reality, like, just hanging out daily, I was nice. I mean, like, because you have to stay there to continue to be, heel or face, but you have to be there. So, in everyday life, everyday living out there, most people come to Survivor with 2 things that have ever happened in their life that was extraordinary. Yeah, like Sandra, she was just like on the way to the prom. Someone opened their car door. I hit the car door. I kept going and drove to the prom. Well, on day 3, she's told the same story 8 times. Yeah. And it's just like,
the audience is like,
yeah, and so, well, not the audience, just the people there. You're fucking bored. That the name of the game of Survivor is boredom. Yeah. Unless there's a challenge or tribal, you're bored as shit. Yeah. And so with me, I had been Roddy Piper's assistant for over a year. I had been living in Los Angeles for, I think, 3 years at that time, and going to like the hottest clubs in LA and meeting celebrities every night. Yeah. Prior to that, in college at Virginia Tech, I was lead singer of a band. And so I've done some pretty cool stuff prior to getting. So every day I was their television.
I didn't know you were a Hokie.
Yes.
So,
but I, I'm not sitting there, during normal, just hanging out time going, hey, watch me fuck you over. I'm just entertaining them. I'm telling funny stuff. And they would sit there. They're just like, I don't know if Johnny's stories are real or not. I don't care. Yeah. When Johnny talks, I'm not bored.
Who came up with the grandma story? Was that all you?
That was all me. So that was in small part.
That's when you became my favorite player, because I was
part influenced by Andy Kaufman, my hero. So,
also Jerry Lawler in a movie about Andy Kaufman.
Yeah. So
him and Kaufman worked the world, man. They worked ABC News.
Yeah. So no, I love dark comedy. I love like. When I was 4 years old, I grew up 45 minutes from the Greensboro Coliseum, and my dad used to take me to wrestling every month. And at age 4, my dad said, "Root for the bad guys. The good guys are pussies." And I said, "Okay."
That's what I taught my son. So he learned it firsthand. He learned it.
Yep, I did. He told Cornette, "I'm coming back as a heel," and Cornette told him, "You ain't tearing my top baby face to a heel." And Kenny said, "Give me 6 weeks. I'll turn him into a heel." Took 3.
There you go.
3 weeks. We had the right
that's how smart he is.
With you going to Greensboro Coliseum, and we're going to touch over here on the live show. Did you see Cornette in person?
Many times.
And how old were you? The midnight.
So I was born in 74, and so
1960
Let me
for me.
get my walker.
Yeah. so I started. I mean, I went early, but like the height of my fandom. Well, I mean, I still watch wrestling every week and listen to podcasts every week.
Yeah.
But in the height of my fandom, I would say that 86 to 85 to 1990 stretch. Like I was watching probably 10 hours. Like they used to do the wrestling block on Saturdays.
Yeah, oh yeah, right.
You had the TBS stuff, and then you had like we would get Continental and Superstars and Challenge and
AWA.
They actually ran Memphis wrestling when I lived in Atlanta. They had a Saturday night block, and I got to keep up with Memphis wrestling down there. I started pro wrestling in '87 with Nick Goulas, so you were seeing Cornette right about the time I was just breaking in.
Yeah, wrestling was so popular here when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
That on Friday nights, instead, so the news came on at 11 p.m. Instead of the news going 30 minutes, the ABC affiliate did a 15-minute version of the news, so that wrestling could start at 11:15 on Friday nights.
That is great. I have never even well, here's a story for you. Memphis television, the wrestling was so popular there that Saturday mornings that pro wrestling would outrate the World fucking Series.
I'm sure.
They would have the World Series, and Memphis wrestling would outrate the World Series in Memphis. But then again, what teams, I mean, other than the Braves or the Cardinals, who the hell would be in the World Series that Memphis would give a shit about, really, I guess.
Right. Hey, Johnny, a question came out from Allie Howard. It says, what's the grossest thing you ate on Survivor?
Oh,
we had a food challenge that it was a roulette wheel, and mine landed on, I think, conch and coconut water, which was pretty I mean,
I love it.
Honestly, the metric shakes that I was drinking prior to Survivor were grosser than that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's where I could not have done it. You all had shit on that show that there's $1 million would not have motivated me to eat it. I could not have.
But I'm a vegan now.
Yeah.
Johnny, I don't know if you know that. I'm a vegan now because I got really sick. But when I was a carnivore, I used to eat conch at sushi bars. They used to cut it down. Oh man, it was number 2 chewy. Number 2, because you had to crunch on it. Yeah. Giant clam was number 1 chewy.
I'm out.
But I've had conch.
Yeah, I said it was. Other people had like razor clams and octopus and stuff like that.
As long as you don't eat the octopus with the blue ring on it, you're okay.
Yeah.
You eat that fucking octopus, you're dead.
2 last questions.
It's like eating goldfish.
I got 2 last questions for the live show. Then we're going to shut this down. Go do the Patreon show. Sure. That'll be posted late tonight or tomorrow. My last 2 questions: how the fuck did Russell Brand? That's the wrong guy. How did Russell find all those goddamn idols? Those hidden? I mean, I loved him, but it had to be somewhat of a work that he found every goddamn idol wherever it was.
Honestly, I'm kind of done on Russell. We like, I have my Patreon, he has his. We did like a online ORG with people from my Patreon against his.
Yeah.
There was he had someone that was in charge of the game. The first challenge was like like on Survivor, if there's a puzzle, both tribes have the same puzzle, and he wasn't able to have that technology, so their puzzle, I think, was easier. So that was kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And then there were some other things. And then one of the main reasons I agreed to do it is because like I sell t-shirts at JonnyFairplay.com through Pro Tees. Right. And so I had done t-shirt designs for both tribes, and as far as getting something out of it, like they had to join his Patreon to be a part of it, like so like I felt I was giving up something. So in return, I asked, I was like, well, in future ORGs that's online gaming or whatever, and on future ones, I'd just like to continue making the t-shirts because, I have a designer in Argentina. We do really good design.
Pretty cool.
And he said, cool. And then actually last night at 1 a.m., I got a text saying, hey, because I just put up the 2 new shirts for the 2 new tribes. And like, yeah, we're going to do all those in-house now. So we've removed your posts. So I'm kind of just done with that guy. I mean, like, you sleep with dogs.
I was hoping to get to do a show with you two. I guess that's
I don't see that. He is no longer on my Christmas card list.
Oh
no,
man.
I guess he's a big X on that.
Yeah, man, that's a tad. That's even dirty for a Bolin, man.
Yeah, don't fuck with my monies.
No,
I got you. I can
okay. Now, I hope this is the last question. Speaking about fucking with shit. What is your stand on what's happening today in this great country we call America?
I don't understand the question.
With the COVID and everybody just having like a kind of a civil war within.
A very divided country right now. But yeah, Johnny's not very political. He doesn't talk a lot about it.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean,
me on the other hand, I only talk about it.
I know. Kenny and I will. I just want to know who. I'm not asking him to choose sides.
I know.
I feel about what's happening in this great country today. Be as vague as you want, but
no. I'm purposely woefully ignorant when it comes to the news because I'm an extremely positive person.
Yeah,
like I play a bad guy on television. In reality, I'm a very nice, positive person. I do more charity fundraisers than anyone I know. I mean, like I in the history of Survivor, we our primary charity for multiple years was the Elizabeth Glacier Pediatric AIDS Foundation, and I've raised more money for them than any other Survivor in the history of the show, including winners. Like since COVID started, I've raised thousands of dollars for Hearts of Reality, which is an organization that they work with Give Kids the World Village in Orlando, and they provide the transportation and lodging for all the Make-A-Wish kids to go to Disney and those things.
Yeah,
I've raised thousands of dollars for to build Christian schools in South Africa, and I was actually supposed to be in South Africa the last 2 weeks in September, but that's been as of now been postponed to March.
Yeah.
So as I said, as I said, I love being a bad guy, and being a bad guy is great, and I don't.
Reality's reality.
Reality is reality, and so like in reality, as I said, I'm very positive, and I don't like reading about bad stuff, watching bad stuff. So as I said, I'm intentionally ignorant when it comes to those things. However, I do have social media, I do have a smartphone, I do have a computer, so I am
kind of hard to avoid it all, I guess.
To some degree, yes. To some degree, I'm aware, and I think everything's heightened because it's an election year.
Yeah,
right.
I understand that
on both sides, without a doubt.
And I think that people are preying upon people's fears on both sides. I think it's extremely frustrating to live in a world, or even simplified, a country in which if I were to seek out the truth and knowledge and facts, that I don't feel that I can, because I feel both sides are so pro their message that both sides fail to give you the entire story. And so I mean, I guess you can do detective work to figure out what's really going on, and even then I feel there's voids, and I think that sucks. I mean, why isn't there somewhere where I can find the information and then decipher for myself what I want to believe?
I try to absorb everything, even Fox News, and no one probably despises Trump more than I do, but I try to absorb everything and try to find the good. I mean, if there's some good, I'm the first to talk about it. But if there's bad, I'm the first to talk about that too. I like to think that I'm a positive person. My fans might say otherwise. And I too, I love raising money from the homeless. The homeless are the soft spot with me, because I can't tell you how many times I was damn near homeless. My dad wasn't very good at keeping jobs, and I lived in 16 homes in 14 years because we kept moving from place to place. Normally farms where dad could try to find work. Wasn't he had an alcohol problem, and when you have that, it's hard to keep your job. So, but that's another show.
Well, listen, I know we're going time, but I just want to say, Johnny, great answer. I think like you think. I can't watch the news. I got to develop my own opinions, and I'm a very positive person. I always give person.
Blow me.
Dad, shut up. But I'm trying to tell you, Kenny.
Disrespect, kid.
I mean, excellent answer, because we all have to start thinking for ourselves. We can't let one party, another party think for us. We know what's right. So I'm glad you think like that. I'm glad you take the facts. I'm glad you're not involved in the wave of media bullcrap, one side or the other. So that your answer was perfect.
Well, that's why I'm a lifelong independent, because you got to think for yourself. You got to hear. It's a shame we only have two sides. There's many countries that have so many different political parties. Right. And Jesse Ventura said it best: if we take away the gang sign, people wouldn't have a fucking clue who to vote for. No. Because they see the elephant, they vote that. They see the donkey, they vote that. And you take away the gang sign, people wouldn't have a clue who to vote for. So that Johnny, now you got to base it on the person. We got to go, because Johnny is promised 20 minutes on the Patreon show. So Rico, quit asking him so goddamn many fucking questions.
Now I'm going to tell him, keep doing what you're doing, Johnny. Work for those charities and help those people who need your help. Because I did it as a gladiator champion, and I don't have the steam anymore, but you got the steam. Keep going. I'm one of your fans now. Go get him, Goody. Go get him.
Rico's a fan of yours. Now, you didn't expect that today, did you?
I did not. Wishful hoping, but
hey, nothing wrong with that.
No.
Well, folks, we appreciate
the mind can conceive, the heart can achieve. Go get him, Johnny.
Folks, we appreciate you tuning in. Rico will not be on the post show because he won't fucking shut up. So,
he'll be there.
He'll be there. We got people that wouldn't come if Rico wasn't there. So we're going to do the post show real quick. That'll be posted either later tonight or early tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in for a very early show for me. Yeah. And thank you, Johnny, for coming and giving us some time. And we will try and get you out as quick as we can on that 20-minute post show.
Thank you. Everybody check out my podcast at survivornsfw.com. There's links to the audio and video versions of the show. There's also links to the Patreon there, which is the best way to support the podcast, as you guys very well know.
Oh, yeah.
And also there's links to JonnyFairplay.com at survivornsfw.com. And with every t-shirt purchase, you get a phone call from me, Jonny Fairplay, thanking you for your purchase.
God damn, I don't even do that shit.
I know.
Well, if you're not going to do it,
the heat's on. The heat's on.
Sorry. I mean, you guys, you want to see people like this, like quality, like Jonny Fairplay. You want to hear stuff like this. You want to hear the real story. You need to support Kenny Bolin. He's got a Patreon account. You got to support him so he can keep bringing guests like this on.
And anyone that donates $10, I do give them a phone call. I'm just bullshitting everybody. As a matter of fact, if they donate 20, I'll let them come on the show.
Yeah,
we get 20. We're going to put them on the show for 15 minutes a month.
Yeah, so
they're going to carry me the whole time.
If you guys want Kenny Bolin to continue this, you got to support him, because this is how he makes his living. COVID has really damaged him, and he won't tell you that.
It didn't help me any.
Proud. But I'm going to tell you, because I know him. I've known him over 20 years. Support Jonny Fairplay. He's a good guy. If you're a fan of me, support him and support Kenny so he can keep bringing people like this man on our shows and let people know the truth.
Johnny, I'm going to give you permission to put that on your shows. There's your testimonial, and you got permission to use that.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. See you guys on the Patreon side.
On the post show. Until then, I said good day.
Good day.
Good day. No false finishes here. Fuck them. No false finishes. Fuck these people. I said good day.
You're killing me, Small.
We do a false finish on every show. You got the shortest false finish we've ever done.
My God.
Oh, no, did I? I think it's over.
No, you did. You're still going.
God damn it. God, I just told them fucking idiots. They're not going to donate now. God damn it.
Your short false finishes like my